Hi, I'm Paul Pachter, President and CEO of Long Island Cares, and welcome to another episode of Breaking Bread. It's our program right here on YouTube in which we provide you, the community, with information about various programs and services and nonprofit organizations, businesses too, that provide services to the good people of Nassau and Suffolk County. I want to thank New York Sands, our sponsors for Breaking Bread. That's right, New York Sands, creating an entertainment, commerce, and hospitality venue, a destination point for people here on Long Island, right in the heart of Nassau County. New York Sands, welcome to the neighborhood. My guest today is someone who I've met numerous times. Happy to work with him, truly a leader in the nonprofit field here on Long Island. Jimmy Jacks, he's the CEO of Habitat for Humanity here on Long Island. When most people talk or think about Habitat for Humanity, the first name that comes into mind is Jimmy Carter.
That's right.
Our previous president. On Long Island, it's Jimmy Jack. Jimmy, welcome. It's so good to see you.
Honored to be here today.
Excellent.
Breaking bread with you.
Breaking bread with you as well. So, for people who may not know, what is Habitat for Humanity? When was it founded? And then we'll get into the accomplishments that you're having here on Long Island.
Yeah. Well, Habitat for Humanity was founded in the 70s, approximately 1977, maybe a little earlier than that. And of course, Jimmy Carter jumped in a couple of years later and just, the old saying, put it on the map. Since then till today, they have built, in fact, I just went to a Habitat International conference. I believe it was in the 80s, and they had a dream. This was their dream in the late 80s. I believe it was 87 or some odd. And they said they wrote a dream mission, that we may be able to build 1 million homes. That was their dream. They have built 50 million homes. They have built millions and millions of homes all over the country, all over the world. So Long Island was established in 1987, Long Island Habitat for Humanity. So what is Habitat for Humanity? And most of us have heard of Habitat for Humanity, and even myself. And really what it is, we build homes of hope for people who could never afford a home. It's a hand up, not a handout. Because to qualify, you can have, you're below the average income. Where you could probably never get a mortgage for a fair market value home like today, $500,000. In fact, the average homes, we were at one of the conferences together that they were speaking of. The average home, I believe, in Suffolk County is $600,000, where in Nassau is $700,000. That's the value. So a person who's making $65,000 a year could never even think about that. Whereas with Habitat, we can do that. There's applications that go out. We're building about 6 homes a year. We have built over 250 homes on Long Island. And so what's so awesome about Habitat, when we say it's a hand up, not a handout, is that those who qualify, who have to have simple, decent credit. You don't have to have 800, somewhere in the 600s. And you don't even have to be a large savings account, somewhere about $1,500 or something. Yeah, and so, some type of, and you have to have W-2s. You have to have a steady income, of course. And so what they do is, when they qualify, they do 300 sweat hours. So they literally go in and they build it. Now, the single mom, how's she going to do 300 sweat hours? Well, her cousin and her brother, the family could chip in, and then they do financial reviews and financial studies, because we want them to absolutely be successful in their new home. And so what we do too is repairs. So we do repairs for the elderly, for vets, where it's a 1-day job, a 2-day job. We replace a window, replace a sink, replace a vanity. And of course we have our restore in Ronkonkoma. Right, where it's like a mini Home Depot, and then a used furniture store. It's so awesome. It really is.
How do you come about to choose the neighborhoods that you're going to build a house in? Is it something that you do on an annual basis, scout the communities, where there are communities where people would benefit from home ownership? Is it government reaching out to you to say, look, we've got some properties in the town. We think it would be a good location for a Habitat home. How do you go about selecting the location?
It's all of the above you just mentioned. It really is. Really the high percentage of how Habitat works, you got to remember, where do we get this funding to build homes? We're non-for-profit, you know, and even the sales of the home, when we do sell the home, we basically get the materials back, so forth. So we're able to get, over the years, land donated from the county.
Okay.
And then there's families that have a will, and that we have received wills where they had a land or a house, and they come to us. We do scout out properties and land. Very rarely do we buy land. However, with the lack of land that is available, going into 2024, that is something we have looked into. For instance, the auction that comes out every year. Well, sometimes it's every other year for a Suffolk County auction. We're able to look into that, possibly buy properties. But most of the time we get it from the county, and it's called the land bank. And what that is repossessed homes. Takes years and years for them to finally, even county to own it. Then the county basically turns it over to the townships, Brookhaven, Town of Babylon, wherever. Then they're able to donate it to us, and then we get it. Now, how does it work? Well, we can't build an affordable home, because a big dynamic in building affordable home, whereas we are able to give them a low mortgage, is the taxes, the property taxes. So usually it's in areas where there's low taxes, because we want to make sure that, it doesn't go above their 30% of their income, where they are able to, sustain and afford the mortgage.
So when you say 30% of the income, let's say, hypothetically, you have a family who earns $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
They are going to be required to invest $20,000 a year into the home and paying the mortgage and the taxes. My understanding, I think there's a myth going on out in the community about Habitat Home. I think people are under the assumption that the home itself is taken off the property tax rolls, and they're not.
No,
people are paying the property taxes. The difference is, as you said, we go into areas where the property taxes are somewhat affordable.
Correct.
So maybe they'll be less than $10,000 a year. And you're housing families with children, families that may have a grandparent living with them.
That's
and,
correct.
As you said, we're providing houses for hope.
Yeah.
So over 250 houses you said you built?
Yes. In fact, when I first came out to Long Island from when I graduated college, I came back out to found and start and pioneer Teen Challenge.
Okay.
And it's a drug and alcohol residential program for teens and adults. And so I applied. I was living in the town of Babylon, and I heard there was an affordable housing program. And at that time, I was making tops $26,000 a year in 1992. And so I went and I applied. It was a lottery. I think there was 10 homes or 12 homes. I called up after the lottery, what number am I? And they say, you're 134. Well, I'm going to hang up. I'm ready to hang up. They go, wait. Do you live in the town of Babylon? Yes. Do you work in the town of Babylon? Yes. Do you have kids in the town of Babylon? Yes. And what do you make? I go, 26,000. You qualify. So long story short, we qualified. And so what you say about that, so I know the feeling now, because we have dedications. We work, it takes us about 6 to 8 months, sometimes a little longer, to finish the home with the application process. It's such a joy when we see the families come to the home. We have a big dedication and we hand them the keys. They're weeping and crying. I know that feeling, because that's what happened to me. I got an affordable home in Wyandanch, and actually it was the borderline of Wheatley Heights. And it was such a blessing. It was a dream come true. It really was. Even when I came out here, I never even thought about, owning a home. And so it's such a blessing and an incredible mission, like Long Island Cares, to provide for families. You mentioned about even grandmothers move in. So there's about 2 homes that we have right now that we're building. And there's 3 generations, grandma, mom, and daughter are moving in. We have two families just like that, 3 generations. Some of them put their incomes together. Grandma has a Social Security. It helps. And the mom, who's a single mom, puts hers together, and it works.
Talk about the community and the volunteers that you use to build these homes, to refurbish these homes for families. It's not just major, contractors coming in and helping out. I'm sure you have many who want to volunteer.
Yeah, good question. Yeah.
Who's building these homes and how are you recruiting them?
Great question. So we have a construction director with 4 supervisors. And so how we're able to build these homes of ourselves is because Habitat owns the home. We're not contractors or companies that come in. We're like a homeowner. For instance, I'm building an extension on my home and I'm building it myself. I'm overseeing, I have to sub out concrete and so forth. So we have, let's say we're building 4 homes usually simultaneously. Most times we're doing 6 homes, but we have 4 supervisors. A supervisor oversees, he knows his stuff. He's a carpenter, a former contractor, and he's a part of our full-time team. We have volunteer teams that come out that usually have a team of 10 to 12. Right. And these are companies. These are banks, corporations. What's so incredible about it, these banks and corporations and the CEOs recognize the worth and the inspiration of their staff taking a day off and once a year, let's go build a home together for a family. So they come out, they put their aprons on. A lot of them don't know what they're doing. I give it to our supervisor because, you have to be patient. You got to hold that sheetrock over there. What's sheetrock? You got to put a screw. What's a screw? Some of them just don't know. But at the end of the day, these people who volunteer will never forget that. Sure. Then we have high schools that come out, the same thing. We have high schools that come out. That's why it takes us a longer period of time, whereas a contracting service or corporation or business might come out and knock out a house in 3 months. It takes us 6 to 8 or to 9 months to do it. So that's how the buildings, but we do sub out the concrete. We do sub out, electric, we have a program that comes out. Electrical Institute comes out with their trainees and they help us. And then we sub out the plumbing. Then we have volunteers that come out and we have businesses like King Qualities doing all of our roofs. And then we have Anderson Windows. We have Windorama that donates the windows. And so forth. So it's a community, the old saying, it takes a village. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to build a Habitat home.
Absolutely. Yeah. But it's, when you drive by the home and you know that you took part in building it, it's really, so rewarding. Talk a little bit about the store in Ronkonkoma. Yeah. You said it's the Reclaim store? Restore.
It's a restore. It's called Restore. That's what it is. And that obviously that came, the name of that. We know what a thrift store is. We know what a Goodwill is, and we know Salvation Army and all that. But ours is much different than all of them. We have just about everything that these thrift stores have and Salvation Army. We don't have clothes, but we have housewares, house furniture, office furniture, and then we have building supplies. And that's such a blessing because we get donations from, Riverhead Building Supply, many other, warehouses and lumber yards and so forth donate. So when you go into our warehouse, one side of it looks like I said, a mini Home Depot. Windows, doors, wood, tile. It's incredible, what we have there. And then the other side is we have washers, dryers, and we work with Willie's, and Willie's is an appliance company, and he brings us washers and dryers. Then we have kitchens, and what's incredible about kitchens, because even I used to do carpentry and contracting work, and I was trained by my brother-in-law years ago I worked with him over the summers when I was a kid installing kitchens. I know how to do that. We always threw the kitchens out. And it's amazing because now we have a system where contractors know we take used kitchens, and it's such an incredible investment for us because we're able to turn them around. A used kitchen, people, where you go to buy a kitchen, you know the deal. It could cost $15,000 to $20,000. Just a new kitchen, not installing it. Whereas you can come to us, we have used kitchens, and it costs $1,500 just for the used kitchen. Then we have the furniture on the other side.
That's amazing. So people, you have a contractor who's putting in a new kitchen for someone, taking out the old kitchen cabinets and able to donate them to Habitat for Humanity. And that then goes into the homes that you're building?
Exactly. Well, the money does. You know, we put in new kitchens, in our new homes. But all the funding that we get from our restore, everything eventually goes invested into building the homes.
We're running out of time, but I have to give you an opportunity. If people want to support Habitat for Humanity on Long Island, how do they go about it?
Well, you can look on our website, Habitat. It's really Habitat of Humanity of Long Island. Right on our website, go to Google. You can Google us, and right there it shows you how to donate. And all donations know that it's going to go into families, into homes, and to making dreams come true, making families' dreams come true of owning their own home. What a blessing.
Absolutely. And it's not just donating money, it's donating your time if you want to help with a community group, a school group. Jimmy Jacks, what a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming on Breaking Bread, and thank you for watching. And once again, thank you to New York Sands for their sponsorship of the program, because excitement is coming to Nassau County. So until next time, this is Paul Pachter, President and CEO of Long Island Cares. Go out and do something nice for someone. See you next time.